this meeting of the Coalition of the Willing and remind ourselves that only one country started this illegal conflict, and that was Russia and Putin. And only one country stands in the way of resolving this peacefully, and that is Russia and Putin. And Vladimir and the Ukrainian people, we stood with you in resisting Putin's aggression, and we must now stand with you in the fight for peace. Putin has, in the last few hours, sought to put conditions on a ceasefire. It's really important that we make clear an unconditional ceasefire is a ceasefire without conditions. And we reject the imposition of conditions, and we need to be really clear about that. It is for Russia, it's for Putin to come to the table for a 30-day unconditional ceasefire, and there must be clear sanctions if he fails to do so. There is real unity on that. We need to be clear that that is one of the main outcomes we want from this meeting of the Coalition of Willing here this morning. Vladimir, you have our support in the fight that you have. You have our support in the fight for peace as we go forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much, James. Please.
Thank you, Vladimir. Thank you for hosting this meeting, and I'm very happy to be here with Kyiv Federation, Donald, alongside with you. And I want to thank our colleagues for joining this VTC, and especially our European friends and European institutions, NATO, but as well our colleagues from Pacific, and Mark is here as well from Canada. It's very early in the morning for him, and great to have all of you here in this coalition of the willing, and I think this is a very important message in the day after this night to me. I fully concur with both of you, and I just wanted to insist on a few points. The first, I think our common objective is to secure this unconditional ceasefire for 30 days. Initially, it was a proposal made by the US. You made the move, and I think it was very bold, as Keir mentioned, in Jeddah, beginning of March. And it was reiterated 2 days ago by President Trump in a very clear message. So all of us have now to back this unconditional ceasefire for 30 days and increase pressure on Russia. And it means unconditional ceasefire in sky, on land, at sea, that should be long enough and that could be renewable. It should be completed with appropriate provisions for monitoring and with arrangements for the distancing of forces along the line of control. And it's very important to engage with the US for them to be in charge of the monitoring, with the assistance of all those who want to join, and France is obviously ready to join, but it's very important to have the US involved. We need a clear mechanism for the attribution of potential violations with robust penalties applied. And as both of you mentioned, we firmly reject the possibility of making any concessions of prejudicing the outcome. And there is no preconditions, neither stopping delivery of arms to protect and resist for you, or any, no prejudging any type of negotiation. And we have to be clear that if Russia does not comply, it must face consequences with additional sanctions and further support to Ukraine. And we have to prepare a new package of sanctions, which should not be business as usual, and probably we should reconsider in the days to come. And we have to increase the coordination with the US, taking as a basis what Lindsey Graham put on the table, but a strong coordination. And I want to salute our Nordic friends, because they made a great job during the past few days to allow us to be closely coordinated. But we have to strengthen the package to be sure that we have clear retaliation package and we deter Russia from violating this ceasefire. Second remark, at the same time, we must continue our support to the Ukrainian armed forces, which have been resisting heroically and which will remain in the long term the best security guarantee for Ukraine. And a strong, well-equipped national army remains Ukraine's first and most important security guarantee. And this is something we have to secure here. We need a discussion today, but we will have to secure a proper financing in our package, and it will be an important discussion as well as a G7. And third, a durable peace requires a solid and robust international security guarantee for Ukraine. Therefore, we must continue strengthening our coalition and continue to make progress on the possible Russian force. In accordance with the mandate expressed in March, efforts led by France and the UK, together with Ukrainian and other contributing partners, continue on a daily basis, and the military work and planning on parameters of the Russian forces is ongoing. And I want to thank our military teams and the day-to-day planning, and I want to thank as well the help of NATO and all the able and willing countries in order to prepare the Russian force, which will be as well a clear support and complement to the Ukrainian army in order to build this robustly. And this is where we should use the 30 days of ceasefire to negotiate all the parameters of this robust peace. And obviously, we are completely engaged and committed. Vladimir, thank you very much. And I think all of us want here to reiterate the clear message that we are very lucid. 80 years after the end of the Second World War, that you are on the right side of history because you protect your sovereignty, your territory, and doing so, you are at the forefront as well of the protection of the whole European territory and what we built after the Second World War. Thank you. Thanks so much. Thank you.
Yeah, first of all, Volodymyr, thank you for leading us to actually continue the discussions on how to bring a lasting, durable peace to your country. But let me first thank you for your invitation and thank you to our colleagues for having me in this group of prime ministers and welcoming me so by heart. Thank you so much. I'm really hoping to cooperate and to continue very closely with you. Thank you so much for having me in this group. I would like to start with three messages. The first one is the new German government is fully on board to make this group a success. Our engagement will be substantive, and we are doing this to reach peace for the courageous people of Ukraine. We are doing it for our security in the entire European Union and the entire European continent as well. Second, I believe that strengthening Ukraine's armed forces will be the most important part of this group's work and the centerpiece of any future security guarantees for Ukraine. We should collectively agree on ways to sustain financing for an army of sufficient size and capabilities based on Ukrainian input and building on the Rammstein contact group and work of the capability coalitions. You want to count on me, count on us, count on Europe and Germany. Germany will continue to gear up financial support. The reform of our constitution, which we made in Germany, will enable us to deliver now and in the future. I count on you, dear partners, to do the same collectively with us. Third, helping Ukraine defend itself and engaging in negotiations to reach a ceasefire or even a peace agreement are two sides of the same coin. This is why I will work hard with Keir and Emmanuel and Donald together to continue engage the United States and bring Russia to the negotiation table, always with Ukraine, never without. A word on the negotiation process. A full and unconditional ceasefire in the sky, on land, and at sea would be a starting point. We should now build on the negotiations between the United States, Ukraine, and E3 in Paris and London. We should work on two strands. First, hammer out modalities of a ceasefire, and second, define key elements of a framework agreement for peace negotiations. However, we know Putin's goal is to procrastinate and not make substantive concessions. It is therefore essential that we keep the United States on board and convince President Trump. Ukraine is not the problem. It is extremely constructive. It is Russia that does not move unless we increase pressure. Putting pressure on Russia means strengthening Ukraine. We will need to do this for a long time if the war continues. It will be the right thing to secure a ceasefire or peace. I'm happy to join forces with all of you in this important work for peace in Ukraine and security in Europe. And Emmanuel, you mentioned 80 years of peace and freedom in our part of Europe. It's not yours, it's our part of Europe. This is our obligation to continue our work on peace and freedom in this part of the European continent as well. So we are committed, we are here, and we are ready.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the invitation. It's our privilege to be here today with you. And what we need today is maybe not another speech that I support everything what my partners just said. It's obvious we are here to show our unity, and this unity is not an abstract slogan. It's something real. And unity means also solidarity. And solidarity means readiness to sacrifice something. And we are here also to demonstrate that Europe, our countries, the whole West, that we are ready to sacrifice a lot to support you. Because your fight is our fight. Because Ukraine, your soldiers, your nation, fight for not only for your freedom, for your independence, for your integrity, but also for our countries, for Poland, for Germany, for United Kingdom, for France, for Europe. And I really believe what I said. We are here also to promise you and to promise to our people that we will be not naive. We will have not illusions about Putin and Russia games. It means that we will be also very tough and clear. Unconditional ceasefire means unconditional ceasefire, nothing else. And with this very positive side of the engagement of our American friends, I think we can be very successful here. You can count on us, Vladimir, as always.
Thank you. Thank you so much.